Hello everyone! In this video, I want to discuss an idea I had for Monster Hunter 6. I, like many other Monster Hunter players, dislike the grind for rare materials. If you don't know, in Monster Hunter, after killing a monster you get to carve it, and at the end of the quest you get material rewards related to the monster in question. All these materials are entirely RNG dependent. You might need a Rathalos scale, but end up carving 3 Rathalos shells in a row. Overall, I think the current system works against immersion. We're not providing the material the player clearly needs, and that are often right in front of them. The term desire sensor has recently been commonly used to refer to materials that a player needs, but the game refuses to give at the end of the quest or by carving. This may cause the player to hunt the same monster 5, 10 or even 20 times in a row in the hopes of getting that 1% drop rate material. With my suggestion, I hope to provide an idea for future Monster Hunter games that would solve this issue by providing the materials the player was in most need of. In-universe, it doesn't make sense for your hunter to carve a Rathalos scale when they know they need a Rathalos shell. You should have a choice in what you carve and not hope you get lucky with an RNG drop system. So with that, here's my idea. Also, just a little disclaimer, but this idea would be just for large monsters. I think tail carves should stay as they are, and small monsters should stay as they are now as well. So, let's go by order of events. You track the monster, you kill the monster, and you get to carving. Once you start carving, an interface would appear. You can see what materials are on the monster's body and how many carving slots each one would occupy. Maybe what materials and how many are on the monster's body could still be random, but way more generous, maybe 50% of Rathalos had a ruby, for example. I imagine that at the start of the game you'd have 3 carving slots, and you would get more as you increase your hunter rank, carving proficiency, or simply progress through the story. Common materials like scales and shells should take 1 slot, uncommon materials like webbings or sacks would take 2 slots, and rare materials like plates, gems, or rubies would take 3 slots. You choose what materials you need and fill all the slots. After that, you click the button to carve and the carving animation would start, and you would get all chosen materials from the monster. Let's imagine a low-ranked player with 3 slots. They could choose what and how many materials they wanted to take, based on what they needed. Do they need a super rare Rathalos ruby? Well, the player can hunt a Rathalos and carve the ruby, but if that material occupied all the carving slots, they will only get to carve that one material. Maybe they have the rare material, but they need a lot of common materials. Well, you get the point. The player will be able to carve based on what they need, and not get random unnecessary materials that they most likely will never use. So, with this carving mechanic, you would still need to hunt a monster multiple times, but less times. The number of times you hunt a monster would be less dependent on what RNG drops you get, but more based on what and how many materials you need. Overall, I think this change in carving would improve the gameplay loop and the player experience. No longer would the player feel bad and not have control of the material drops after hunting a monster X number of times. The hunting would become more organic, and overall this change would make the crafting of armor and weapons more involved, as the players would know that they are hunting because they are going to get to carve that material if they manage to beat the monster. I'm not altering quest rewards or capture rewards. Those would still be RNG, but I think if my system is to be introduced, then there needs to be a clear advantage of capturing, so that people still do it even if the material drops at the end of the quest are still based on RNG. In my opinion, capturing would need to clearly give you more materials than carving, with the downside being that you really don't know what you're gonna get. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. If you have any other ideas for Monster Hunter 6 or future Monster Hunter games, do feel free to leave those ideas in the comments below. I'll be happy to discuss this with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye bye.